What's going on, guys? Zombie Wars here, and welcome back again to another video. Today we're going to be discussing the FNAF chapter that is coming to Dead by Daylight extremely soon. As of recording this video, we have just 4 days. With the reveal on May 9th, time just really seems to be flying by with all the hype for this chapter. So before we get to this video, guys, please leave a like on this video. Mr. Puddles would really appreciate it for just getting a job at Freddy Fazbear's. As well as please subscribe to the channel. We just hit 2,100 subscribers, and I would love to see some new faces on the channel to discuss some hype and speculation with this FNAF chapter. So, the FNAF chapter. I've covered many rumors on this channel, but for this video, I wanted to sort of focus on what we already know, what we know is likely, and what I personally would love to see from FNAF X DBD for a longtime fan of both DBD and FNAF. Whatever leaks are going around, I'd rather not focus on them in this video, as the leaks aren't exactly super credible, nor are they what I particularly envision in a FNAF X DBD chapter. So let's discuss the main three when it comes to the FNAF chapter: the characters, the power, and the map. 3 things that we know we are getting for the FNAF chapter, but not what they contain. Now, it's never been said we're going to be getting a survivor or a map with this chapter, but it is a tradition with every anniversary that we do get a survivor and a map as well. So if this chapter, arguably possibly one of the biggest chapters for DBD, doesn't contain any of these, this would be the first time this has happened since Ghostface, which, may I remind you, was back in 2019. I think when it comes to the killer, it's fairly obvious who we're going to get, and that's none other than William Afton, aka Springtrap. It's possible we can get some other characters as like legendary skins or cosmetics, but I think it would be ridiculous to not put Springtrap as the killer, as by far he is the most requested character and possibly one of the most recognizable characters aside from the main 4. And it fits the world of Dead by Daylight to like a T. So for a killer pick, I would definitely pick Springtrap. Not only that, but like 90% of my speculation videos concern Springtrap, so it'd be kind of odd if I didn't choose Springtrap. I think for survivors, it's pretty likely going to be Michael Afton, William Afton's son, as he is pretty much the primary protagonist of the FNAF series, at least in the games universe, which is what this chapter is likely to be based off of. Although we are very likely to get Michael Afton, I believe it would be really cool if we can get some like legendary skins of some other characters from the series, such as like a legendary skin for Vanessa, who's no longer under the control of Glitchtrap. I think a Henry Emily skin would also be very good. I think Henry Emily would be a very good parallel to William Afton personally. And something I've gotten a lot of comments on recommending was Charlie from the book series. I think Charlie would be a very interesting character to have as a skin, and it would pay homage to the FNAF novels, which I would love to see some content of in this chapter. The FNAF books are a huge part of the FNAF series and are arguably more important than the games when it comes to the lore lately. I mean, the main antagonist of the series right now was introduced from the books. Heck, if you want to go further, we knew about William Afton's name from the books. So there's a lot of stuff that comes from the books that I feel like it would be weird to not give any sort of representation from the books. I also did have some wild ideas in videos before where I said things like adult Gregory, because we've got an adult Yoichi from the Ring series. A lot of people thought that idea was a bit out there, but I think it's possible considering, like I said, it's been done before in Dead by Daylight. The only issue I see with it is maybe Scott wouldn't want that because it doesn't fit with the lore or whatever. So, the power. We all know about Axtrap. You know, the rumors going around about him throwing an axe and recalling it. And although this leak is going around and has the potential to be true, I really highly doubt it's going to be Springtrap's power. Although there is a part of the Axtrap power that I really did enjoy, and that's he is going to be a partially stealth killer, and that he's able to be taken out of stealth mode by security cameras. If they're going to make a Five Nights at Freddy's chapter for Dead by Daylight, it would be such a crime to not include security cameras in some way or form. Especially since Behavior have actually managed to make a camera system already in the game with the introduction of the Singularity. I definitely feel like the camera system controlled by the survivors would be a very fun and interesting change of pace to the game, and I just think it would be really super interactive from a survivor's point of view. Some of my favorite killers in the game are killers that are actually interactive with survivors. Think about things like the Vecna, where the game literally changes into a D&D match. So we know what the survivors would do in this case, but what would Springtrap be able to do? Well, of course the leaks specify that he would be able to have an axe throw and recall ability, but I don't really buy that, nor is it really fitting for Springtrap. I will say though, I don't mind him using an axe as a weapon, even if he's never used it in canon before, as honestly it looks really cool and I think it suits him well. I think his power should be something radically different from what the leaks and rumors are spreading about this chapter, and I think it should be something more akin to what we already know he can do. I think when it comes to Springtrap's power, he should have some sort of ability where he can cause survivors to experience hallucinations, something like the Doctor, but you know, different of course. Springtrap is known to cause hallucinations, and quite honestly, it'd be a fun way to incorporate something such as the Phantom animatronics into the game. Somebody in my comment section suggested Springtrap summoning phantoms with different abilities, sort of similar to how Vecna has a wheel with different spells, but well, themed for Springtrap. I still think keeping the camera system and fast traveling like the original Axe leaks could pair very well with this, except for maybe instead of teleporting, it's going through vents like the Xenomorph does. And of course his weapon would be an axe, because I think it's cool. I don't think this is exactly what we'll get from Springtrap if he's added, of course, but if the leaks aren't true, I hope we get something similar to this. I feel like when it comes to the FNAF chapter, there are so many different possibilities for a power, and it's interesting to hear the different ideas that so many people have about his power. And I know a lot of people want his power to include jump scares, but I feel like what would be even cooler is if his Mori included the jump scare somehow. And the icing on the cake here is if his jump scare sound effect was the exact same one as FNAF 3, I think that would just be really cool. Now, when it comes to the map, there's a few ideas I have here. I originally wanted to suggest Fazbear's Fright, as it's the most fitting for Springtrap. But the problem with Fazbear's Fright is, at least the one we see in FNAF 3, it is way too small to be a DBD map. Unless it gets like the Badham preschool treatment and it's an indoor-outdoor map, I could see that maybe working. I think that the best thing that could happen for a FNAF map actually lines up with what the rumors circulating about the map would be, and that's an original map inspired by the locations. If there's an original map not based on anything from the games explicitly, I always imagine this being some sort of amalgamation of the maps, twisted and contorted by the entity. Pretty much all the iconic aspects of each FNAF location rolled into one. Hopefully something that meshes well, as anything I could think of off the top of my head is some sort of clustered mess. But I think seeing a mashup of FNAF 3 Fazbear's Fright and the FNAF 1 and 2 pizzerias would be kind of cool. And I said this in a video before, but something like a scooping room in the basement would also be really awesome. Again, if it's like an original map inspired by the FNAF maps, I feel like there's so many different options they can do. I even suggested like a Fredbear's map earlier as well. There's just so much stuff they can do with FNAF. There's so many locations and characters and power ideas that they can do. It's genuinely like a surprise until we actually get what we get. That's if the leaks are false, which I'm really hoping they are. But that's it, guys. The Springtrap reveal is upon us extremely soon. As of recording this, it's only 4 days away, and probably when it's uploaded 3 or 2. And I cannot wait to absolutely get straight into this chapter. This is my most requested chapter for DBD for years, so I just cannot wait to share any news or information about the chapter with you guys. And hopefully soon we'll get some gameplay to show off. Once we know a bit more about the chapter, I'd love to do some more speculation on it as well, as pretty much right now we're going off of nothing. The only thing we've gotten officially from this chapter is an image that says DBD X FNAF. That's it. That's all we know for a fact. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you all next video, and peace out.